I'm just stopping for a minute to talk about what's on my mind today. Lately, a lot of what's been on my mind sounds similar to what I've shared before. That's because God keeps working on the same deep places in my heart. The themes repeat, but the lessons go deeper. Today, that lesson is rest. Recently, I noticed something I haven't felt in a long time. I felt real rest while I slept. I remember actually feeling grateful while in my sleep. I was aware, almost half awake, that I was at peace. It struck me because it had been a while since I felt that kind of calm on the inside. That sense of rest made me think about Mary, who sat at the feet of Jesus while Martha was distracted with serving. Jesus said that Mary had chosen the good portion and that it would not be taken away from her. The truth is, I've spent so much of my life like Martha, busy, responsible, constantly moving, constantly tending to tasks and people. Um, so when I got honest with myself, I realized I still struggle with pressing pause. I struggle with that. I often feel responsible for every second of what is happening around me, in my home, in my family. But when I thought back to that small taste of peace I felt in my sleep, I realized that I want more of that. Not laziness, not neglect, but the kind of rest that comes from trusting God instead of trying to hold everything together on my own. Scripture reminds us God gives his beloved sleep, and that in returning and rest, we find salvation and quietness and trust. So I did something completely different, something I never do. After church on Sunday, I gathered everyone in the house and I made an announcement. I said, "You're on your own for a bit. I'm going to take some time to lie down." Now, to some, that might seem small, but for me, that was an act of obedience and surrender. I skipped doing the laundry. I skipped cleaning. I didn't cook dinner. I skipped carrying the weight of everyone else's needs for a little while. And instead, I chose to rest. I laid down in the bed and I took a nap. As I closed my eyes, I intentionally cast my cares on the Lord because He cares for me. I smiled as I lay there, letting my mind dwell on what God has done, His faithfulness, His provision, His mercy over my life and my family. I didn't rehearse my worries or my to-do list. I made sure not to do that. I practiced gratitude instead, and I woke up rested, still grateful and at peace. For a moment, I chose to be more like Mary, at his feet, than Martha, busy on her feet. So, to anyone listening, I'd like to ask, where in your life is Jesus inviting you to put something down so you can come sit at his feet and rest? If this finds you tired, stretched thin, or running on empty, I invite you to remember this with me. I don't have to earn rest. He's invited me to lay it down and come sit at his feet. My prayer is that even today, you'll choose the better portion and find the kind of peace only he and give.